So today we are looking at lesson 1 for math for this week. So for this week, we are looking at exercise 39 in your math workbooks. And please remember to watch the video, this video for this lesson. And we are going to, again, we are still dealing with graphs, and I'm sure now you're getting better at it, and I'm sure you're able to read graphs more now, because look how we started. We started with bar graphs, we started with drawing them, and we also learned about reading information and completing our graphs and the information that they gave at the bottom, or the questions related to those graphs. So far we've learned how to draw the bar graph and how to read information in tables and translate it into a graph format, right? So now we are looking at, and then we learned about reading the graphs and completing the information related to those graphs, right? The information that they've given us in graphs, and how do we fill it how do we fill out that information? And then we are looking at, so today it's going to be similar, except that we are now looking at exercise 39, and it is a little bit of extra work. How about that, right? So it has 3 pages. So I am looking at page 98 of your workbook. So math, page 98, and it has page 98, page 99, and 100. So this exercise is 3 pages long. Now for this exercise, I'm going to move closer so you can see better. For this exercise, they've asked us, they've again given us information on these cards, and they've asked us to read this information. It is about number of students in 4 classes as shown below, right? So they've given us room number, and they've given us the number of boys and girls in each room. So we have room 12, we have room 14, we have room 16, and we have room 18. And in each of these rooms, there are boys and there are girls. So they've given us they've given us 3 kind of information. They've given us the room numbers, they've given us the number of boys, and they've given us the number of girls. So we have 3 categories here, right? So here at the bottom, they've asked us to complete this chart by reading this information. So here they've written it down, they've written the room numbers for us. So they've said class, room 12, room 14, room 16, and room 18. Your job is you are going to write down the number of boys and the number of girls. And again, how are we writing that down? We are just looking at these cards, and we are basically copying down the numbers. So for example, let's do one here. Room 12. Room 12, how many number of boys are in room 12? So this is my room 12. I am looking at 22 boys. So in room 12, there are 22 boys. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to write 22 here. I'm done. I'm going to look at room 12. How many girls are in room 12? So this card tells me how many girls? 19 girls. All I need to do is just write 19. There we go. So in the rest of the rooms, so room 14, go to room 14, look at how many boys are there, write down the number. How many girls, write down the number. That's all you need to do for this half of the page, right? So looking at rooms, filling in the information. Then at the bottom, they've given us so again, these questions, as you've learned from the past exercises, all of these questions, there's nothing new information. As in all the information that you need, they will give it to you, right? So we don't need to search for information. It's already there. We just need to read it carefully. So let's look at these questions. What is the total number of boys? What do you think you need to do? So are they asking for one room, or are they asking for all of the rooms? So they're asking for all of the rooms. They're asking for room 12, 14, 16, and 18. And what do you think you need to do? How do we find the total number of boys in all of the rooms? What do you think we need to do? Do we need to add or do we need to subtract or multiply or divide? So the answer is, if you thought it's adding, you're absolutely right. All we need to do is we need to look at 22, 15, 22, and 21. And we need to add all these four numbers to get the answer here. Does that make sense? So all these questions, they're related to the information that is over here. Then you're going to go to second question. What is the total number of girls? Same thing. We're going to look at the number of girls in each room, and we know that we need to add it. So here's a clue. Generally speaking, if they're asking, grade 4, if they're asking you to give us the total number of something, they're asking you to add the information. Or if they're asking you what's the difference, they're asking you to subtract. Does that make sense? So you're just going to either add or subtract on this page in these questions. If it says what's the difference, so for example, let's look at C. Are there more boys or more girls? How many more? That means they're asking you to look at the number of boys, look at the number. So when you do part A and B of this exercise, so part A and B, this should tell you which are the girls a high number or the boys. And part C is, are there more boys or girls? So when you do A and B, you'll be able to look at the number and you'll be able to see, okay, which number is higher. That would tell you whether there are more boys or more girls. The second part of the question requires you to subtract. If they're asking you, are there more boys or girls? How many more? For example, if you find out that there are more boys, you need to subtract the number of boys and the number of girls. And that difference would be the answer here. So you have to give me two answers. You need to tell me, are there more boys or more girls for part C? You're going to write that down. For example, if it's boys, you'll say boys. Then you'll put a comma, and then you'll tell me how many more. So you would subtract those two numbers to tell me how many more. Does that make sense? Then the last question is, what is the total number of students in the 4 classes? What do you think you need to do? In question A and B, when it said total, we added, right? So that's what you need to do. You need to add all of the number of boys and number of girls to get your answer for last one. Okay? That's what we need to do on page 98. Now let's move to page 99 and see what do we need to do. Okay, so on page 99, again, they have given you information about ice creams. They've given a small tub, a medium tub, and a large tub, right? They've given us the liters. They've given us the dollars as well. So how much they cost and how many liters in each of these tubs, right? So they've given us size of tubs. So it's either small, medium, or large. And they've said amount of ice cream. So how much is in small? In small, it's given, the graph or the picture tells us it is 1 liter. All I need to do is write 1L. Did I make up this information? Not at all. I just looked at the picture and I read the information and I know they're asking for small. So I went ahead and I wrote 1 liter. Then they're asking me, what's the price of the small tub? And I look at it and I know, oh, it's $3.90. Sorry, I forgot to write a dollar sign. Remember to write your dollar sign, okay? So that's what you need to do. Then at the bottom, just like this page, they have given us these word problems related to these pictures at the top. So part A says, so number 1 says, Mrs. Lee bought 2 small tubs of ice cream. How much did she spend? What do you think you need to do? So imagine, or I say, let's say if Mrs. Lee, it could be anyone, right? Perry, Jacob, whoever, they bought 2 tubs. Let's say Perry and Jacob bought 2 small tubs. Perry paid $390 and Jacob paid $390. How much did you pay all together? What do you think you need to do? That's right. If you said adding, you're absolutely right. All you need to do is, if one tub, so both Perry and Jacob, Perry paid $390 and Jacob paid $390. 2 tubs. So what did it cost you? You're going to add $390 and $390, right? You can either do it on a separate piece of paper. You can do it on the side here, anywhere. If you need to stack up your numbers. If you can't do it, without stacking your numbers, that is totally fine. So all you need to do is $390 plus $390. Remember? So we stack our numbers like this, and whatever answer you get, you can even use a scrap piece of paper. Okay? I can even use, oh, you guys don't have whiteboards at home. I totally forgot. So stack your numbers, and then you will just write, so 390 plus 390, what does that give us? So 0, 8, because 9 and 9 gives me 18. 3 and 3 gives me 6, plus 1, 7. Remember your decimal. Remember to don't forget your decimal, the dot. So all together, how much did Mrs. Lee pay? She paid $7.80. There we go. That's all you need to do, okay? For these questions, you're either adding or subtracting. Then they're gonna say, how much cheaper is it to buy 1 large tub of ice cream than buy 2 small tubs of ice cream? What do you think you need to do? You need to subtract, right? So make sure when you're doing these questions, you're reading it, reading your questions carefully, and secondly, you're paying attention to your pictures as well, because in graphs, it's important to read our pictures or our graphs carefully, and only then can we answer our questions correctly. Okay, then on the last page, same thing. Again, we have the diagram shows the prices of detergents sold in bottles of different sizes. Again, just like ice creams, small, medium, and large, liters and prices. So by looking at this, we are going to fill out, looking at these 3 pictures, we are going to fill this information. Small, amount of detergent, how much is in each bottle? So in small, it's 1 liter. I'm going to write 1L. What's the price? $1.80. That's what I need to do. Then at the bottom, just like I showed you on the previous pages, you're going to either add or you're going to subtract. If they ask you, well, what's the total of all these? Chances are in fact, most of the time, you're adding, right? So let's say Wendy bought 3 medium-sized bottles of detergent. How much did she spend? Right? So let's go to how many, they're asking about the medium, right? Medium costs us $3.20. So if a person bought 3 of those, how much did they pay? So how much do you think Wendy paid? What do you think you need to do? We need to add. So we are going to add $3.20, and we're going to add it 3 times, and then we will know how much did Wendy pay for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's what you're going to do for this exercise. And remember, it has 3 pages, and that is your lesson 1 for this week. And I will see you next time.